little bit more focus on the power. And then we'll start the warm up in a second here. And just like usual, if you ever have any questions throughout the workout, don't hesitate to just unmute and ask, or you can send a message to the chat there. And then, or even at the end of class, if you have any general questions about any exercises or any type of workouts or workout plan or anything, just let me know at the end too, more for general questions and answers and stuff. Or for any basketball specific exercises that might help with like your jumping or being kind of more powerful and stuff like that with kind of fighting for rebounds or anything like that. Like I'll try to think of some exercises. Oops, sorry, I started the timer there. Okay, so we'll start the warm up here. We'll start with arm circles, just like usual, just going forward, small circles, and then just slightly getting bigger as you go. I'm just kind of going at your own pace here. And then as big as you can go, you can get a little bit more of a swing in there. And then we'll go backwards. So when you go backwards for your arm circles, just make sure your palms are facing up. Just helps open up your shoulders a bit. So make small circles backwards. And then same thing, just get a little bit bigger as you go until you're kind of swinging your arms. And then coming down, we'll just swing one arm across the body. So kind of make the sweeping motion with your arm, just to kind of warm up the back of your shoulder as well as the front of your shoulder as you reach. You should start feeling the kind of like the blood flow get to your arm as well. Get into those muscles, and then switch sides. And when you reach back, again, you're getting that stretch kind of in your chest and shoulder. So reach as far back as you can and as far across as you can. Just a little bit of a dynamic stretch here. And we'll come to a wide stance position with your legs. So just wide stance, and then what I want you to do is take one arm and reach across the body and touch kind of like where your opposite ankle is. So here, I'll try to show you here. So I'm reaching across, touch my ankle, then come back. And then reach across, and what you can do, you can just alternate sides, just go one way, and then reach across the other. And just make sure to try to keep your back flat here. So you're just hinging over at the hips. And we'll stay with that wide stance. And then we'll just go into a overhead reach. So you can even put one arm kind of down your leg if you want as well. Just go overhead reach. And just lean a little bit deeper into that stretch. Trying to stretch out the lat here, but always keeping it moving, because you don't want to hold the stretch there, because you're more warming up your body rather than trying to stretch it out. And then switching sides, you can kind of again slide down the leg and then reach across with the other arm, just to get that lat involved. And then last couple exercises, we're going to go into the hip hinge position. So that one we've been working with a few of the exercises where you kind of just bend over at the hips. So I'm keeping my back flat, and we're going to open up the arms straight back down, and see what I'm doing with my thumb is pointing up. So keep your thumb pointing up towards the ceiling, and then just raise it back. And actually another tip, if I was doing this more upright, it's going to be more for my traps up here at my shoulders. So I want to come down as close as I can with the chest to the ground and then do that, and then it's going to really work those muscles between your shoulder blade. That's what you really want to get here. And then just changing the angle a bit by keeping your thumbs going up, just go straight forward overhead. It's almost like you're reaching for the wall in front of you. Thumb is still pointing straight up. And you can take it down. So quick recovery here just before we get started into the first round. And your rest intervals here, you're going to have rest in between each exercise, just 15 seconds. Just a chance to grab your weights. And so 3 ones, we've got push-ups first. So again, I mentioned this in the warm-up, but if you weren't here yet, I'll mention it again. For your push-ups, I want you to try to get lots of power on the way up because we're trying to switch the focus from strength to getting a bit more power and explosiveness. So when you come down, I want you to push up fast and then slowly come back down. And then push up fast. So you're getting maybe less reps because you're doing them a bit slower with the descent, but I want you to get lots of power on the way up. You don't have to start just yet. We'll go into that 30 seconds in a second here. And then your next one's going to be a low row. So you're going to come grab your weights. So if you need to grab some weights, now's the chance to do so. You're just going to hinge over at your hips. You're going to row up and come down. So you're keeping your elbows in tight and trying to pinch the shoulder blades back. So that's your next 30 seconds. And then last one is swimmers. So you're just on the floor, lying down flat, and then just alternating arms and legs and just making that swimmer position. So if anyone has any questions, you can ask those questions now. Otherwise, we'll get started right away. So if you don't have weights for the low row, what you can even do is if you want to, you can grab your backpack, stuff it with a bunch of stuff, textbooks or anything that to add some weight to it, and you can do that with a backpack, just grabbing onto the straps. Or you can do the same thing we did in the warm-up with the straight out to the side with your arms at the hip hinge position. So we'll get ready to start push-ups. Again, I want you to add some explosiveness on the way up. So 30 seconds, we'll go in 3, 2, and 1. So hit those push-ups, 30 seconds. So remember, slow down and then power it up. And past halfway, keep it up. Almost there, 3, 2, and 1. We've got 15 seconds, and you can grab your weights for the low row. So pinching the shoulders back, lowering them down, or again, if you don't have weights, you can just go straight out to the side with your arms and just keep going like that. So 30 seconds, and 1. So yeah, just keep that form, pinch the shoulders back, slowly down, and then pinch, slowly down. You're past halfway. In 3, 2, and 1. Quick recovery, then we'll hit the swimmer. So drop down onto the ground or onto your mat if you have them. And then again, swimmer, your arms just moving quick. And same thing with your legs at the back. So you're lying flat. And then swimmer, 30 seconds. Arms and legs just alternating, trying to keep them off the ground the whole time. So everyone keep going, try to keep that back contracted, back active. in 2, and 1. So quick recovery, and that's how one round looks. You're going to do 2 more rounds there, so just 2 more, so really focus on that power and the push-up coming up again. You'll have a little bit more push-ups later on as well. In 2, and push-ups again, and just like last time, you want to drop down slowly and then power up. So even if you're kind of the palms of your hands slightly come up off the ground, that's fine. That just indicates that you're getting that power with each rep. So a couple more. 3, 2, 1. Coming up. So again, grab those weights and really pinch the shoulder blades back. And go. And again, just like you guys are doing, just really slowly working that motion. In 2. And so 15 seconds, and then get ready on the ground for the swimmer. And this one's more about endurance, so you're staying active for the whole 30 seconds and just kind of moving the arms really quick. Hit that now, 30 seconds. And then moving the legs really quick too, so your lower back, your glutes, your quads, your shoulders, the whole kind of posterior chain there of muscles is staying active. So keep it going, under 10 seconds. Almost there. And recover. So you guys can stay down and get ready for the push-ups. So last round here, so really add lots of power on those reps. I'll try to join in with you guys on this one. So 3, 2, and slowly down, power up. You're already halfway, under 15. 3, 2, and last. Push it up. So again, get those weights, and low row coming up. So especially like you guys were doing last time, just really keep it slow. Roll. And just past halfway. Just feel that burn. We're almost there. Push past it. 3, 2, and so last exercise of the block, swimmer for the last 30 seconds. In 3, 2, and 1. Just quick reps, arms and legs. And you're halfway, 15. Getting that one out of the way, we'll go right into block 2 here. And it's this kind of pattern. You got your 15 seconds rest. So we're going to go a little bit lighter weights for the and then sit up to grab again. So it's similar to one, I think it was a couple weeks before. I just changed up a couple of the exercises. So triceps dip, you're gonna grab a bench, or if you have a weight, I'll show you what you can do after. So grab a bench, or even like the end of a step, and we're just doing tricep dips. If you need to, you can bend one leg in. You can bend both legs in if you need to as well. It's a little bit easier. And then if you wanted to, if you have a weight, you can go overhead tricep extension. So what it would look like, I just have one weight here, bending my elbows, and then straight, bending elbows and straight. And then your next one is a front to lateral raise. So if you have just light weights, those work perfectly for this exercise. So we're going to lateral raise out to the side, and then front raise out to the front. Then lateral raise and front. And if you don't have a weight that's light enough to do this, like let's say if it's too hard to do with the weights you have, you could also just do front raise with a single weight and just do that front raise the whole time. Then your last exercise is the sit up to jab, and if you want to add small weights for this, you can as well. You're sitting back, sit up, cross jab, and then come back. Sit up, jab, and then come back. And another option, actually, is a little bit more challenging. If you wanted to with your weights, you can come into the sit up, overhead press, and then come back down. Sit up, overhead press, and come back. So that's a little bit of a more challenging, just other than the punch, if you wanted to add the overhead press if you're holding weights.
What was the second one again?
Oh, the second one was lateral to front raise. So you just grab your weights, and even if you have like, let's say if you have 2 water bottles, or like 2 things that are pretty light, like it only has to be 5 to 10 pounds maybe. You want to go lateral raise out to the side and front raise, and then lateral raise and front raise, back and forth. And if you have one weight that maybe, let's say if it's 15 pounds, it might be a little bit heavy for that one, you could always just do front raise the whole time, just kind of holding on either side of the weight, or whatever you have as your weight, like backpack stuff with stuff even. So we'll get ready for the tricep dip. And again, if you have weights, you want to do a little bit of weight work, you can also do tricep extension. So triceps dip, 30 seconds. We'll get ready to hit that now. In 3, 2, and so tricep dip, 30. And again, if you're going through them and you hit a point where you can't push out anymore, all you do is just bend your knees and then just keep going a little bit more speed, because you've got a little bit less distance with your legs to cover. So it's almost like you change the weight and go lighter weight. In 3, 2, 1. Grab those 2 weights. You got front raise, lateral raise, or if you just grab one weight, front raise the whole time. And again, even if you just have light, you can do that as well. So even if you just have like 2 water bottles even, that's fine as well, or something you can fill up as a water bottle. And some of you using bands too, that's a good option. And the focus of this exercise is to kind of go at a slow pace. And so we'll hit that sit up to punch. And again, if you want to grab weights, if you have some lighter weights, you can do that. You can go sit up, punch across, or you can go sit up, shoulder press, sit up, shoulder press. 30 seconds. If you're getting that shoulder press in, try to make sure that you sit up as upright as you can in that sit up. So get up as high as you can so you make your back flat when you shoulder press. And 10 seconds. And 2. And so we'll go back to the tricep dip and hit the next round here. And again, I want you to focus on a little bit more speed today because we're focusing on power. So kind of slowly down, explode up with each one. And I know it's a tough exercise to add power to because your triceps are a little bit smaller muscle groups. So again, if you start hitting that wall, just bend the legs and just add a little bit more speed to it. 3, 2, and so grab your weights again. We'll do some of those lateral and front raises. So remember, slow reps, 2. And raise, lateral raise. So we're kind of working 2 different directions for your shoulder here. Both raises, but focusing on kind of different parts of that muscle group, your deltoids up in the shoulder. And 3, 2, recovery. So sit up to punch or sit up to shoulder press if you want to add that challenge. Even if you don't have weights, you could always do sit up overhead and then come back down. That punch, like it says in the name there. So 30 seconds, and then we'll be done round 2, just one more round for this block. And if you're not using weights and you're doing the punch, just make sure to get lots of power in that punch. So come up, power across, and then come back down. In 3, 2, 1. Triceps dip one more time. And then, yeah, we'll get a little bit more core shoulder work mixed in the next block. So next 1, 2, and tricep dip one more time. So again, lots of power in there. If you need to, just bend that one leg, bend both legs, and then just push out as many reps as you can. Past halfway. 3, 2, and recover. It's a tough exercise to do lots of reps of, especially after you guys already did some power push-ups. So nice work finishing those off. So slow it all the way back down now for the front to lateral raise. Sometimes if you want to count it out, you go 1 second raise, 1, 2 on the way down. 1 second raise, 1, 2 on the way down. Just so you feel a little bit more burn in those shoulders. And under 10 seconds, got a couple more reps. Recovery. So sit up to punch one more time, or again, sit up to shoulder press. Just make sure if you're doing the punch, lots of power coming across. 3, 2, and 1. Lift to punch. So last 30 seconds, finish off really strong here. And we just got 3 more blocks after this. Nice work on that press. It's really challenging to get a sit-up when you're holding weight. So nice job pushing up and getting all the way up on those sit-ups. And last rep. Take it down, nice work. So next block, and I'll give you guys another chance to grab a quick drink. It's 20 seconds on and 10 seconds rest. So we did this yesterday with some different exercises. So we'll do first. There's 4 rounds there, and then we have bicep curl next. So we'll still get some upper body work in there. So if you wanted to grab weights for bicep curl, you can grab weights for bicep curl there. And I believe actually it might be 5 rounds here, but I'll double check that in a second. So mountain climber, first exercise, and again, we'll do the 4 or 5 rounds. You're gonna come down. We did the same one yesterday, except this time I want, instead of you just going straight with your legs, I want you to go to the opposite elbow. Instead of just going straight, I want you to go across the body and across the body. So you're going a little bit slower, but you're going across, so it's like an oblique mountain climber. So you're getting a little bit of a twist involved there. So I'll try to angle it so you can see a bit better again. So I'm going across the body, back down, and then across the body and back down on the mountain climber. So again, we'll go 20 seconds on, 10 seconds rest, and we'll repeat that. Let me just double check. 4 times. So we got 4 rounds of that. So mountain climbers, you can drop down. So get ready in that plank position. We'll start in 10 seconds or so. And remember to add that twist in here so you get a little bit more power in the movement with the obliques coming across with your core. So everyone ready to go in 3, 2, and 1. So mountain climber, but going across the body. And you really drive that knee with some purpose. So again, you don't have to actually touch your elbow. You just want to drive it across and power coming from that. So quick recovery, 10 seconds. You can just drop down and get ready to hit again. And 2. Again, twist across. Get that power in the movement. Just driving that knee with lots of purpose there. And a couple more. 3, 2. So 2 more rounds, and then we'll hit some bicep curl. In 2. Mountain climber, just keep it going. And remember, just like last night, if you were here for lower body, I know a few of you, or a bunch of you were, that knee drive is really important in basketball. And so anytime you're going up for a layup, you're going up for a rebound or anything, a lot of times your knee drive is what kind of protects you from a defender. It gives you a little bit. Keep it going. One more time. Make sure you're using those obliques to kind of pull that knee across. So get that twist in there. And 3, 2, 1. And recovery. So you have a little bit more time here just to grab your weights and stuff. So we just got bicep curl. So it's regular bicep curl. We're going to go 20 seconds on and do your 10 seconds off again. So 4 rounds. Whoops. And if you wanted to, if you have bands or something, you can use bands as well. And if you don't have weights, another thing you can do for this one is like instead of doing the bicep curl, you could go into the front raise that we did in the warm-up. So you can bend over and just go front raise the whole time. So that's an option if you don't have weights there. Otherwise, yeah, bands, good option. Your weight's good option. So in the 10 seconds and we'll get started. And I'll give you a countdown here. So first round biceps, 3, 2, and so keep a good posture. Keep those elbows locked in. Just moving the forearms, just moving the hands up and down. That's really what's going to get the bicep. We're doing most of the work. In 3, 2, and so quick 10 seconds. You can drop those weights down if you want. Otherwise, just keep holding them. Work that grip strength a bit. In 2, and this one's a little bit of an isolation exercise, obviously, just isolating that one muscle group with the biceps. It's not something that you necessarily do for like any performance enhancement, like biceps are just getting a little bit more upper body strength. But again, it's not as as applicable. It's more like your grip strength is what's applicable to. It's going to give your fingers, your wrists a lot more strength here. Which obviously you know that sometimes it just ends up being the ball that hits your finger the wrong way that can sometimes jam your finger, but with your grip strength works. So just one more round here, last 20 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. With your biceps. Just hinging at the elbows. Almost there, a couple more reps. And recovery. So plank up, down. We've done this one before as well. What we're gonna do is start up on your hands in your plank, and then you're gonna drop down to elbows, and then come back up to your high plank. Drop down to elbows, come back up. And what I'm doing too is I'm alternating sides. So if I drop down on my right side, get up on my right, the next time I drop down on my left, and then get up on my left side. So you get kind of equal reps there. And if you ever hit a wall where you can't push up anymore, just hold a plank for whatever time is left. So 20 seconds. So drop down plank, back up top. You're already halfway. And 3, 2. So quick 10 seconds. Nice job holding that plank still if you're doing that. It's a really good challenge there. 3, 2. So keep it going. Remember just to keep alternating, because if you feel like, let's say if you keep getting up just on your right side, you're going to feel a lot more burn in that right shoulder. And recovery. And you want to kind of make it equal here. So second, up, down, keep it going. Under 10, couple more reps, keep it. 3, 2, and one more to finish off, and then we just got one more exercise in this block here. Plank up, down, one more time. I know after a lot of bicep, tricep work already, you guys' arms are pretty fatigued already after a lot of reps, so just pushing to failure here. 3, 2, 1. So last one is just another isolation exercise. So that shoulder press that you were doing before with your sit-up. Now you might go a little bit heavier. If you have heavier than you were doing with your sit-ups, you can go a little bit heavier. Going shoulder press and back down. Shoulder press, back down. So 20 seconds before we start that. So maybe a little bit lighter than your bicep curl weight, depending on what weights you have. If you only have one weight as well, you can also do that and just press overhead with one weight, or one laundry detergent if you just have those. You can do this from a standing or seated position. And if anyone has any questions, you can ask them now. And then if you don't have weights, your other option, you come into the hip hinge, and then you go into a Y raise instead. So the Y raise, my arms are just going a little bit out to the side. So I'm basically making a Y, letter Y with my arms. So I'll start the timer, and then we'll have 4 seconds. 3, 2, and press. Or again, you can do Y raise as well if you don't have weights. Nice job getting a full range of motion there. So again, the weights all the way to the shoulder, and then nice work. And if you have bands as well, I don't see anyone on the screen that has bands, but you could also just do that from a seated position. Stick it under your heels and then press overhead if you have a band. And 10 seconds. And so just a couple more here, and then we'll get into just a quick superset with the next one. So it's just a quick round. Second last round, keep it going. And if you need to, you can slow it down as well. So go slow reps, maybe just get up to 5 reps there. 3, 2, 1. So one more here. And then we'll hit the next block. So last round, and keep it going. Already halfway, 10 seconds. In 3, 2. So everyone grab a quick drink. We'll get ready for your next round here. And
did the coach leave?
I think he lagged out.
Just wait, he'll be back. And Coach Erec lagged out.
Yeah.
Yeah, his screen like glitched and then he just left. He got kicked out.
Yeah.
yeah, I just got back. Thanks. I guess. Yeah, I was thinking I was gonna call you, but I wasn't sure. I didn't want to interrupt anything either. So okay, here I'll show you. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I guess I just yeah, maybe my 2013 laptop is getting pushed to the limit here. Okay, so everyone got a good break there, so I'll try to get right back to this round. So this one's pretty challenging, and we've had something similar to this before, but there's going to be some different options. So if everyone's back on, I'll just show you a quick demo here. So your push-up to reach, again, with your push-up, I want you to add a little bit of extra power. So you're gonna come down in your push-up, you're gonna reach overhead, and then once you come back to this position, I want you to power up out of it, come down slowly, reach slowly, and then power up. If you wanted to, you could also, let's say if you're not able to get a lot of power when you're down on your feet there, and don't worry, like it's not a bad thing to do push-up from the knees as well. So let's say that you're not able to get a lot of power, you can just do a push-up from your knees, come down and do that. Otherwise, keep going with the regular push-up, but just like, let's say if you hit a wall or anything, don't worry about going down to your knees, that's fine. And then saw grinder, it's just 2 exercises here. So you're in a plank position, and then you're just rocking back and forth just like that. So you're gonna try not to keep your, or try not to have your knees on the ground for that one. Otherwise, you can just hold a plank as well. Or another thing you can do is you can go plank and punch forward. So that one, because sometimes the saw grinder is a hard one to get into, you can just punch forward, back down to plank. Punch forward, back down. So that's just a couple options there. So if anyone needs or has any questions, you can ask me now before we get started. And we got push-up to reach, lots of power on the push-up, and then saw grinder or plank punch. So first round, 3, 2, and 1. So push-up down, reach overhead, and then power up on the push-up. And then we'll go right into the saw grinder or plank punch. So under 10 seconds. In 3, 2, and drop down to plank, and you can do saw grinder, so rock back and forth, or plank and punch forward. So already 10 seconds. And recovery. So drop down there, you can just take it down to your knees. So push up to reach again. Remember, the reach is kind of a bit slower, and we got a little bit longer recovery here too as well, 20 seconds. So 3, 2, and 1. Drop down slow in the push-up, reach overhead slow, but then power up really fast. And that's where you're getting a little bit more explosiveness with that muscle group. In 3, 2, and saw grinder. So again, hold that plank, just rocking back and forth on the ground. And 2, and 1. Oops. So we got a couple more of these. And then we'll finish off with some more weighted exercises in the end there, just like the couple weeks ago we did. Excuse me. So 3, 2, and second last round. So last push-ups of the day, or second last push-ups of the day. Three, 2, and saw grinder. Drop down. Again, if you wanted to try that plank punch, if that saw grinder is hitting a wall, then you can go into plank punch as well. In 3, 2, and one more round to go. And now these are the last push-ups. So again, lots of power on these last ones. So last round, hit that 20 seconds. And 5, so a couple more reps. 2, and 1. Nice shot on those push-ups. Plank, saw grinder one more time. Ten seconds. And 2, 1. So good job on that one, and thanks for dealing with the technical difficulties there a little bit. So just one more block here, and yeah, it's doing the same exercise for the first 4 rounds. So chest fly, and we've done this one before as well. We did this a couple weeks ago. So chest fly, you're gonna come down onto the ground. You're gonna need some weights for this one. You're gonna come down to the ground, and just having your knees bent here, you don't have to like lie flat at all. If you have a bench, you can also lie down on a bench. And then what you want to do is just open up the arms all the way with your weights, and then come back to center. And then open them up and come back. And then if you have a band, because I noticed a couple of you have bands, what you can do is you can tie it around like anything that's stable, like even a railing or anything. And what you can do is, or actually there's 2 things you can do. You can tie it around something that's stable, or you can step on it with your heel and then lunge forward. And then you would start at the back and then bring your arms forward like that. So it's a little bit of a diagonal direction if you're doing it with a band. So it kind of looks like you're pulling it up just like that, but you're still getting the chest work. So that's, again, if you have bands, you can do that as well. If anyone has questions, you can ask those now before we get into the first one, and then I'll demo the next ones as we go.
For the bands, do we switch legs every round?
You don't have to. Sometimes it just depends which one you're more comfortable with. If you wanted to switch legs just to kind of feel out which one you like better. Otherwise, it's because it's still working your upper body most of the time. You're not really working the legs, so it shouldn't imbalance you at all.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. So it's going to be 30 seconds, so it's a little bit longer with the exercise here, but I really want you guys to get to failure with these upper body exercises. So chest fly, we hit that first one in 3, 2, and 1. So 30 seconds, and here I'll join in with the bands just so if anyone's watching the screen, you kind of see the form. So I'm letting my arms drop down and then pulling them as far up overhead as I can. In 3, 2, and 15 seconds rest. So again, here I'll show the band again, just for anyone that is using them. If you also have like something you can tie, you could do that as well. So I have a bar here that I could tie it to, and then I would just pull forward and then come back. Pull forward and then come back. So that's if you have something that's stable enough. In 3, 2, and so just 2 more. And again, I know like 30 seconds is a lot because if you think about it in total, you got 2 minutes total of all those contractions. So it's a lot of accumulated work there in a short amount of time. So right back to it, 30 seconds. And really try to challenge yourself. So if you go a little bit slower with the weights, or if you try to reach a little bit further with the bands, try to get a little bit more strength out of it halfway. And recover. So one more, and then we're actually just going to flip it and go reverse fly next. So last one, 30 seconds, 2, and 1. Order those bands, and then pull to the center with the weights. And almost there, under 10. 3, 2, and so 30 seconds rest. This time we're going to go reverse fly. So if you have weights, what you can do is you go into this hip hinge position and you just do your reverse fly just like that. So I'm pinching my shoulder blades back. So it's the opposite movement of what you were doing before, pinching it together. And then if you have a band, what you can do is you can, here actually I'll pause the timer so you guys have time and I have time to demo. So what you can do is you step on the band, you can grab onto it, and then you would just pull it out and then back down. Pull it out to the side, back down. You can do that slowly as well. And if you need more resistance, what you can do with your band, like let's say if it's too much, then just grab the middle here and pull it in a little bit more. So I have more slack in the middle, and it means I have more resistance on the outside with my band there. So that's if the band feels a bit too easy, or if you like, depending on the resistance you have. So we'll get ready to get started. And again, reverse fly if you have the weights. Just make sure your chest is close to the ground, then really pinch back the shoulder blades. So 3, or actually here, I'll start the timer and then we get 7 seconds. In 3, 2, and 1. And you can have a slight bend in the elbows here, that's fine. As long as you're still getting the full pinch with your blades at the back. So it's almost like you're trying to touch your shoulder blades together, which usually physically can't happen, but except in some cases. But yeah, just getting them as close together as you can. 3, 2, and so quick recovery, same thing. We'll go your 3 more rounds here. And after this, I think it's just 1 more exercise and then we're done. So it's next round, 30 seconds. Halfway, 15. Just keep pinching those shoulder blades back. Even if you have to bend the arms even a little bit more, that's fine. As long as you're getting the full range with your shoulder. Especially with the bands as well. Because I know sometimes the band resistance can really add up after a while. So 10 seconds here, just 2 more. In 2, and 1. Second last one. And we're under 5 minutes total in this workout, so really try to get those muscles all the way to failure. 15 seconds. In 5. And we're 1 more. And we just got your final exercise after that. I believe it's just 1 more. I'll double check though. So 2 and 1. Let's fly 1 more time. And even if you have a slight bend in your knees, that's fine. It allows you to get a little bit lower to the ground. And you know that everyone's body is different too. So even in doing like a bench press or something, everyone's going to do something slightly different than everyone else. And no, there's no necessarily like fully wrong. Like as long as you're doing it safely, yeah. There's some things that you can do wrong, but as long as you're doing those movements safely, and you might have slight differences for everyone. So high row is, I'm just gonna double check. Yeah, so high row last. Whoops. So get it right back, and I'll show you what it is. So it's almost like an upright row. If you've seen those gym before as well. So if you have weights, just standing in front, pulling them up and back down. So I'm just pulling the weights to my armpits and then lowering them down slowly. And then if you have your band, just basically doing the same thing, but you're stepping on your band. And then you're gonna have your palms facing you. You're gonna pull up and come back down to your elbows. And here, I'll just tilt it so you guys can see me a bit better. So your elbows are going straight up to the side and back down. And what you're not trying to do is shrug your shoulders. You want to keep your shoulder low and then just bring the elbows up to the side. So it's going to really work your deltoids rather than the trap here. So you want to feel it on the outside of the shoulder right here, not close to your neck. So again, palms facing you, and then just pulling it to your armpits and back down. So 5 seconds, and we'll get started. So 3, 2, first round. And I'll join on these ones as well, just so you guys can get a good look at the form as well. I'm just holding it there for a second, letting it down slowly. And I know you guys have done a lot of shoulder work already as well. So this is really just trying to get those muscles right to failure, like I've been kind of beating it to you guys a little bit. So 15 seconds.
Can you show this move one more time, please? The high row. I think your mic's muted.
We're actually here, I'll back up so you guys can see me a bit better. So grabbing your band, you're gonna pull it up and come down. So my elbows are going straight to the side, and then my shoulder is staying stable. So I'm just pulling it up, back down, kind of almost as if I pull it to my armpit and back. And then if you have weights, you do the same thing. You just pull it up to your armpits and back down. Or just kind of.
For weights, should you do light weights for this one? Light weights. I can't hear you. Yeah. Did you hear him or was that just me? Nah, his video is moving fine. I don't know. Uh, so I think we're good, Soft. I think I got it.
Yeah, I can start Jackson too.
Not really. It's really faint.
I can hear him now.
The form down for the high roll, I can just play it too.
Yeah, he's like, I can barely hear him, but it's good enough.
I wrote, but just keep
Maybe type in chat.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Thank you, coach. Thanks, coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.